Man United. Wolves are finally back, or it looks like anyway. I said that for the Arsenal game and it got cancelled, so brilliant. But Wolves versus Man United, big game. Obviously away at Old Trafford, a place we always struggle. We haven't actually won there, I don't think, since we come back to the Prem. We drew in that first season when Jamirtinho scored, but we kind of have a bad record there. But we always play pretty well against Man United, and obviously we've got through that Christmas period mainly through COVID, but a good win against Brighton, good draw against Chelsea, and then the other ones are cancelled, and the window's open now, and if you look at the fixtures, our next 4 games, obviously there's only 3 Premier League games, and from the 3rd to the 22nd, that's what 2.5 weeks, and we only play 3 games. This is a good chance for us, 2 winnable games as well against Brentford and Southampton. If we can get a point against this Man United game, hopefully beat Sheffield United with a rotated side, and maybe with a couple of signings in by then, going into the next 2 games, we could go on a nice little run here. Obviously, in the table right now, it's mental to me, by the way, we're still 8th. Honestly, I thought we would have dropped into the bottom half by now. I hadn't even looked at the table in like a week and a half. We're still 8th, which is mental. Obviously, Man United is 6 points ahead of us right now, played the same amount of games. They're on a good run right now, Man United. They're one of the 4 clubs in the league that haven't lost in the last 5. They got that good win against Arsenal, which that was Solskjaer's last. That was Carrick's game, right? And they played against Palace. That I remember them played pretty well in the first half. They were awful against Norwich, but won. They were terrible against Newcastle, and I didn't think they were that good against Burnley. But there's not that much difference in the 2 sides. Obviously, we've got the 2 best goalkeepers in the league, and then. By the way, I just thought this was weird. If on FPF it shows every team's like top goal scorer. I find it mental that Hwang's our top goal scorer, but I'm only Ivan Toney on 4 is the only other team that has like a goal scorer of 4, and even then Brentford have scored 21 goals to have 13, which is obviously second worst in the league to Norwich who have 8. I think that's quite damning. But anyway, onto Man United. Obviously it's away from home, and Man United's home record isn't great. They've been better away from home recently. Like I remember that they had that great run under Solskjaer in away games. 16 points at home, 15 away. So it's not really much of an issue. And obviously we played them at Molineux earlier on in the season. We played really well. Obviously that's a different manager, right? But our record's pretty good against Man United. I don't think they were that good that game. Also, it was a Jose Sarr error that game. Slash a VAR error. I didn't really think that was a foul on Paul Pogba personally, looking back at it, but whatever. Yeah, there's not really much to say about the team lineup. Obviously, by the time this game happens, I'm recording this just after it's turned New Year's, so who knows, we could have a signing in on New Year's or something. But assuming Aït-Nouri's fit, obviously Aït-Nouri comes in. I thought Keanu played really well against Chelsea personally, but you'd probably bring in Nelson Semedo. Man United do actually have the best aerial win. I'll go on and speak about it later, but they do have the best aerial win rate in the league, so maybe you could bring in Dendoncker, but I just think the drop-off isn't worth it, personally. I don't hate Dendoncker, I just don't think he's anywhere near as good as Neves and Moutinho. And then front three kind of picks itself, really, unless maybe Morgan Gibbs White gets recalled or something, or there's more COVID cases or something, but I don't think Trincao gets in either over Podence or Adama right now. Not that I don't like Trincao, I like him more than most Wolves fans, but that has to be the front three. I'd like to see Fabio Silva get a game in January, but it probably won't happen. So yeah, I don't think there's much to say on the lineups right now, given the amount of injuries we have. As I said earlier, the 2 best goalkeepers in the Premier League for Man United. David has actually overtaken Jose Sarr and push shot XG, which is fine. David is an elite goalkeeper. He's the best paid goalkeeper in the Premier League. He should be the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. And the fact that Jose Sarr's up there with him is a big compliment. And by the way, I had a little argument on Twitter with some Arsenal fans about Aaron Ramsdale. I like Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's better than... I was one of the people that defended him when they bought him, but come on. It's just levels in it. But obviously Man United have a lot of shots. They have a lot of shot takers on their side. They're not up there with the big sides, even Arsenal are above them, but they still get off a lot of shots. If you look at their whole front line, Mason Greenwood, not really a creator, gets loads of shots away. Same with Ronaldo, same with Bruno, same with Rashford. A lot of those are outside the box as well. I trust Jose Sarr to deal with it. There's not a lot of creativity in that side, and they're still adapting to a new lineup, but they are a competent attack. The defence can get got at. I think anyone that watched the Burnley game or has Man United supporting mates, whatever, knows you can get that Man United defence, but their attack's good. We will probably concede. It's very rare that Man United don't score in a game. Obviously, Man United aren't on a big pressing side, but obviously these are mainly Solskjaer numbers, right? Third bottom for pressures, fourth bottom for successful pressures. They're a bit better when they actually do press. They're not terrible at it, but we normally struggle against sides that press a lot. So And to be honest, when I've watched them under Rangnick, I've watched all their games so far. I haven't really think it doesn't really look like they're an amazing pressing side yet. You know, he hasn't been able to do it straight away. Not by his fault, obviously, but Man United are some big pressing side that we should be really worried about. Obviously, aerially, they're the best in the league by some distance. But you could, you know, we got a draw against Chelsea and they're second best, so maybe it's not a massive issue. Maybe that's why Dendon could play in the Chelsea game. Maybe Bruno Lage will do it in this game, but I think Man United are a lot worse than Chelsea. Not that I think Chelsea are incredible or anything, but I wouldn't play Dendon in this game. I think Raul Jimenez in the back three gives you enough height personally, but obviously it's something to be aware of. Possession, obviously Man United they'll have more possession, but they're not a massively ball dominant side like the traditional big three, and not even Brighton and Leeds have more than them. So this will probably, you know, like obviously the Man City, Chelsea game, Liverpool game that we've had recently, we've kind of given up possession to those sides, which I don't think anyone has any particularly big issues with. But that's probably, this is a game where you kind of want it. Same with the Arsenal game. It's kind of a game that obviously didn't happen. This feels like a game where we can go and attack, even though it is away at Old Trafford. In terms of dribblers tackled, Man United are not great at this. Obviously, you know, if you look at the amount of dribblers in the Premier League, we're third for successful dribbles. Man United aren't great at dealing with that. So, you know, when you look at, but the thing is, obviously all of these things are Solskjaer stats mainly, with a few Rangnick games. So Man United are a bit of an unknown entity, but ultimately they're not a top four side. They're in decent form results wise, but I don't think their performances have been great. There's clear weaknesses in that side. You know, at centre back, their fullbacks keep rotating, their midfield's terrible. So I think there are very easy ways to get this Man United side. And look, it's the Monday night game. Everyone will be watching it. It's a big chance for us. If we win this game, we'll still be in 8th, I think, but it kind of puts some distance between us, Leicester, Brighton, those sort of sides. This is a big opportunity. Go take it. Why not? You know, I get why we played the way we did against the traditional big three sides, or the big three sides this season, sorry, because they are elite sides. But Man United aren't that. Like, they're not. You know, if you look at the expected goal difference, which I know people don't really care about, but obviously Man City are by far away in best, Liverpool second, Chelsea third, all on kind of 18 plus. Man United are minus 1.4. They shouldn't even have plus goal difference based on XG and expected goals against. They're not a great side. Even their actual goal difference is 4. They're not good. Like, they're really not. They're getting bailed out by a good goalkeeper and an elite forward. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't go and attack this game. We haven't played in ages. You know, we've kind of not been able to have any Christmas football. Just go and attack the game. You know, I get why we didn't do that against the big three. Man United aren't as terrifying. I wouldn't mind if we went and scored a couple goals there, but lost personally. But if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully it doesn't become another Arsenal preview that was absolutely pointless. But yeah, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Happy New Year as well. And yeah, peace.